Shall we begin?
So it begins.
And now it begins.
So it begins.
And so it begins.
Shall we begin?
It begins.
So, shall we begin?
So, it begins.
Shall I begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, I am alive. I am streaming again. I'm on my channel and on the Phantom Collective channel today, doing a dual stream sort of a thing, trying to do that every now and then. So, yeah, I have been making a lot of content lately, and I have not posted a lot of content lately, but I will have some going out on both the Phantom Collective and the Rookie Critic channel very soon. But all right, I'm trying to also finally be like up to date with stuff, actually watching the newest stuff that comes out, because I'm usually not right there when things happen. It's usually after a month it's been out or something, I'll start catching up with it and start getting into it. So this time I've been trying to be up to date. So been checking out the House of Dragons, checked out She-Hulk, unfortunately, Rings of Power, of course, and waiting on Cobra Kai next week. So, all right, trying to be up to date on some of this stuff. It is on its way. It is starting to happen. But, man, so Rings of Power, everybody's been talking about this for the longest time, and everybody's had the worst fears with it, I would say, because it's, continuing Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings has set quite a high bar for filmmaking. It's pretty much known as one of the best trilogies ever to exist by Peter Jackson. And even though it wasn't a one-to-one, fully 100% perfect adaptation from Tolkien, most people seem to be okay with the stuff that he omitted or added with there because it had the spirit of Tolkien, which I can agree that works as it is. And especially with film being a different medium, you got to do different things to bring it to life. And, a TV show for Lord of the Rings seems like that would be a cool idea, especially after Game of Thrones and how they were able to do a long TV show with that similar type of setting and having it go for so long and be so well received until season 8, of course. But there we go. So Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Everything leading up to this was pretty much pointing to it being pretty bad. But it's not even that it's bad. It's just extremely dull. I don't know about you guys, but everybody that talks about this will start by saying it looks pretty neat. It looks pretty nice. It looks good. It's shot well. Look at the setting that we're in. Isn't that great? Isn't this wonderful? And it's yeah, it looks fine, but I'm getting as a person on YouTube and hearing other critics and YouTubers talk, it's very annoying hearing people be like, the movie looks pretty, don't it? Huh? It starts to sound like that after a while. It's well, the story is not there, but it were pretty. And it's yeah, okay, that's neat. But if there's nothing to make substance out of the visuals that you're being presented with, then it's not going to be very good. I don't know about you, but yeah, it's pretty much when people are like, oh, the visuals are neat, it's pretty much it were pretty. And so going into episode 1, a couple people have already seen it at that point. I waited an hour or two after it was released on Amazon for people to watch. And I've been hearing about how sleep inducing it is. And I thought, yeah, it might be kind of boring, but holy shit, they were not wrong. This is a sleep inducer. If you're having trouble sleeping, throw on Rings of Power and you'll probably fall asleep within 15 minutes, I would assume, because not much happens in this story. They've got 2 hours of content of film running and things happening, but there's really not much happening. And not that much even toward characters. There's not that much to get you invested into a character. There's Galadriel, of course, that we're, she's the main focus of this story is what it seems like. She's the center focus, main primary character that we're focusing on. And her expressions are very just, if you saw the thumbnail here, it's they're very blank. They're very planky. They're just something happens, like something happens with like the snow troll, and she kills it, and then when she's done, it's like, well, is she like what's she feeling? And then her team is about to ditch her, and she is like, are you mad? Are you sad? Are you like wanting them? Are you happy? Like her expression does not usually come across very well, which is kind of annoying because you look at Gladriel in the future and she is like this piercing, like either seductress or something, where it's like you are hesitant to do anything with her, but you're also like kind of compelled to be around her or something. Like it's like, oh, you know, she's dangerous but beautiful. That's what like she's supposed to be. And it's okay if she's not fully like that at this point, I guess. But the way that it seemed to be with the elves is that because they live so long, they don't change that often either. Like, you know, 1,000 years can go by, or a couple thousand years can go by, and they're not going to be too different than what they were a few thousand years ago, as to where like a human over a certain amount of time will definitely change. They will definitely change. And maybe if you have like, you know, a good 5,000 years for an elf, maybe there's some good differences between how they were and how they are now. Maybe. But there wasn't that much of a, you know, it just, I don't know if there'd be that much of a change like that. And they said they're looking for the, you know, like remnants of Morgoth and Sauron for hundreds of years essentially. And it's like, man, okay. And then you go to this dark place and it's like, no, this is where dark things probably are. So that might be where there's some danger. And it's like, y'all didn't search there first ish. How big is this version of the planet? Are you all walking the whole time? Are you going by ship and by horse, or what are you doing? Because they seem to be walking and then they're like climbing up a mountain for some reason. It's just like I have no idea. The way that they are showing the intro was so choppy. And even before that, they started with like Gladriel as a kid, and I got very Captain Marvel-y vibes from that. Like, you know, oh, you're being kind of bullied, but then you're also trying to be tough, and then you have to hold back or something. And it's like, I wouldn't mind that as much, but it's done quite often that it's just very annoying. It's just very annoying. And she like has a little thingy to float, some paper of some kind to float in the water, and they're like, that's not gonna float, and it does. And all I was thinking about was it, or Pennywise. You know, she's like, yeah, it'll float, and all I'm thinking of is they float. Do you want to float? Essentially, I made a little meme with the Pennywise sticking out of the water. This show is basically meme fuel. Like there's not even that much in it that I think is that funny to like cringe over. Like if you watch She-Hulk, that show is full of cringe that is funny to laugh at. Rings of Power is just very dull. And the stuff that's memeable, it really depends on your creativity, I suppose, because it's just like, you know, there's not much. You have to be paying attention a little to be able to even pull out a meme, because there's not much happening in general that you got to think of it. It's crazy. So, oh man, I was gonna make this simply a recorded video. Like I was just going to record a video and then put that out at some point. But I honestly don't want to bother editing the video down at all in any way. And I just want to have it done because I don't want to make a bunch of content with this. I don't think I'll be making weekly episodes or like weekly, like, you know, reviews or recaps watching this show. I don't know if I can. I think I'd rather do other stuff with my time, especially with Cobra Kai coming out. Like, I think I'd rather focus on something a little more interesting, even though I'm sure they'll start getting into the battles by episode 3 or 4. But I don't know if that'll matter. Like, because so far it's not really shot in a way that seems like it really fits with the world. I don't know. Things are just very all over the place. You could have easily sold me on this being a completely different like franchise that is not Lord of the Rings, and I would have been sold like of okay, well at least we're in a different thing, and we know we're not with Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. If anything, it'd be more anticipation of, well, what is going to happen here? Who are these characters? What is going on here? What is this world like? That would be a little more interesting, I think, because we are very aware of a lot of things with Lord of the Rings, and some people more than others. So it's not a great way to go into this show, I would say. I don't even know if I should go through this show like scene by scene, or if I should go through each like if I should go through both of the episodes that are out. Man, I don't know, because I'm thinking about it and I'm trying to even retread some of the stuff that happens. I just watched it last night. I was watching it with Black Angus, and his ass fell asleep 20 minutes with 20 minutes left in the second one. So that's also why it's definitely proven to be sleep inducing. This thing is a freaking snore. Man, Galadriel is like, you've heard it from other people. You've probably heard this by now. She is kind of, Karen-y, kind of annoying, selfish like. They keep on giving a lot of dialogue to the characters that they think sounds really like, oh, this is really good dialogue for this time and all this character, but it's just comes off as flat, man. It's just not there. It's just not there at all. Like, they try to sound mystical or something, and it just does not land, does not stick the landing. And then I'm trying to go through some more. So we have Elrond, and it's like, he of course looks very, very, very different than he's supposed to, and he's supposed to be more of a warrior, but he seems more like a scholar here, which in a way, again, I'm okay with characters starting one way and then ending up somewhere different later. But again, with how elves are, I don't know how much that would apply, because like in the Lord of the Rings, they show that 3,000 years pass from that first battle, and he's not that different. He's not very different. The only thing that changed was his perspective on mankind. That was like the only aspect that changed in that 3,000 years was his perspective of mankind. So I don't know. Man, yeah, I'm trying to think of substantive things to discuss about the show here. The Wizard Falls, there's the Harfoots, there's the elf dude, and some weird orc thing that comes out of the ground, and I don't know, man. Like, I think that House of Dragons was kind of boring-ish, but not like this. Like, that's more of that show has a lot of substance, but it's happening slowly with House of Dragons. With this show, it's going slowly, and there's pretty much no substance. So one is better than the other, I would say. As I'm thinking about it right now, like if somebody were to pop on at the moment, I just kind of did the stream abruptly. So like there wasn't any planning to it. I was just going to make a video, but then decided to just go live and record this instead. I feel like this covers it, man. I don't know. Like, there's plenty of other people. Go watch Neurotic. Go watch. There's other people that have made videos discussing this big time, like spending 2 hours on it. Which, I mean, I don't even know if I could do that with the show, because there's not that much that happens in it. It's just, there needs to be more substance for me to pull from, for me to get something out of this. Like, even like She-Hulk, as cringe as it is, like I can discuss that show for a while, even though there's not that much substance, but the things they do in it that are wrong or weird there's enough for me to break down. There's enough for me to get into like a conversation or explain what they did wrong and what they could do better. With this, it's just, you're here, but you're just giving weird dialogue. You're just not having that many events happen in general, and there we go. So I'm actually just going to kind of cut this short, because I don't really want to talk about this too long, unless there's got to be more substance to the show, because this is just too dang boring. And I'm just talking about it. I'm getting sleepy already, honestly. So I will see you guys later, giving you guys a little like hint on stuff that I'm working on real quick. I'm trying to plan things for October. So this month you will see some videos, but on my channel and on the Phantom Collective channel. But the consistency of them will be probably 2 a week-ish, maybe. Maybe more. It really depends on how much I can bust out, because I've been watching a lot of films for the first time, and I've got a lot of my like reactions after watching them recorded. I just watched quite a few of the James Bond films and a couple other ones, so those will be going on the Fandom Collective. I recorded a couple other videos to go on my channel, which I'll be posting those sometime soon, and I'm working on more videos for October. I'm trying to get back into making some short films again, trying to get back into making skits and whatnot, so I'm trying to get those lined up for October. And with that, I'm just going to head out now, and I'll see you guys later.